This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, good morning, good evening. Am I audible?
Hi, Abhishek. Yes, you are audible.
Yes.
Am I audible as well? This is Jatin here.
Just give me 1 second. Sorry about that.
No issues.
There is some, just give me one minute. Sorry about this. I'll sort out the issue and then. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Abhishek.
Okay, sorry. Sorry everyone about the, is there any echo? I'm getting an echo, that's why I was.
I think it's okay for me. It's clear.
Okay, anybody who has joined the meeting, is there any echo?
No, you're good.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, good morning, good evening, everyone. Sorry about slight technical issue. I was getting some echo. So let's get started. So as you know, the agenda for today's webinar is to talk to an expert who has cleared the Cbap certification exam and try and understand how did he prepare for it, what was his approach, and even beyond that, in the current role, is there anything which is helping him in performing responsibilities on a day-to-day basis. So I'm going to talk to Jatin Ajmera, and I would like to start by asking him to introduce himself. Jatin, if you can share your
Yes.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Abhishek. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning to whichever location you are. I'm Jatin Ajmera. Thanks, Abhishek, for inviting me as a guest to share my experiences. I'm living in Mumbai, India, with my family, my mom, dad, wife, and 2-year-old daughter. With respect to professional front, I have an overall experience of more than 12 years, mostly in the banking industry and banking projects. I've been mostly involved in various domains of the banking, like investment domain, transaction domain, core banking, risk, and recently into the ATM and payment network. Uh, I started my career somewhere in early 2009 from Tata Consultancy Services as a developer, and then I gradually moved to various roles into the technical field, like a developer, tester, and various other roles as well. And then from there, once I felt to move on to the business aspect as well, then I started preparing as a business analyst and did my certification. And currently, I'm working in Diebold Nixdorf experience. So I have worked with European major bank ABN AMRO, and now with various other customers for ATM industry. Either I was working from Mumbai or I was working from Amsterdam. So it was half by half. It was almost 5 to 6 years I was in Amsterdam, and the rest of the time I was in Mumbai.
So when did you do your certification?
I cleared my certification in 2018, September.
And what prompted you to go for the Cbap certification? What was the motivation?
Okay. Motivation. It's an interesting question because the way I had started my career, I was completely into the development or the technical aspect of the project. Because in a team, there were senior members who used to be involved in the business aspect, and there were other people who had more experience and more knowledge about domains. They were into the functional aspects and the business aspect. But I was completely into the developer mode since in the start of my career. But during the phase of first 6 years, I moved from various various technical roles, from a developer, a tester, a solution designer, a team lead, a project coordinator, on-site coordinator. So during the initial 7 years, I gained complete expertise in my technical background. So after that, I felt more of a level of saturation came into existing, that I should move to something else which is more challenging, which offers more opportunity or opportunity to grow into a higher role as well. As compared to technical field, you gain an expertise and then you keep on doing those things for years and years. So after that period of saturation, I started looking into more business aspects of the projects, the banking projects. I started gaining more interest. I started speaking to different people who were already into the activity as a business analyst. So I actually demanded some work with my management so that I can do some business analysis activities as well. So some management gave me some opportunities to grow and gain some experience. And luckily, I was in Amsterdam, and in my team, one Dutch colleague was there. She was a lady and vast experience of more than 20 years, and she was a business analyst. And she inspired me. Her work culture, way of working, and her skill set used to inspire me. And that's why I, with the help of her, I started gaining more expertise in the day-to-day activities as a business analyst. She used to help me out. So, but still, I was not out of my technical background. I was still in middle of somewhere that I am not leaving this thing, or I'm not, neither I'm going into this thing as well. So I thought, let's not have some recognition that I can proudly say that yes, I am a business analyst. I have that skill set. I have that capability to be a business analyst, a proper business analyst. So I thought, let's do some course or a certification or exam which can help me to get my recognition. So luckily I had few colleagues who used to mentor me and help me out. One of my colleagues, I already knew about Cbap certification, but I was not sure whether how worthy it could be. Yeah, it will help me in my career or not. So I took some time in researching and those things. At the end, I came to a conclusion that yes, Cbap is perfect for me because IIBA is the global recognized organization who sets the standards on par with for all the business analysts. So that's how I got into a mindset that yes, I should go for Cbap.
So once you are convinced that now you have to go for the Cbap certification, the next step obviously is how to prepare for it. Because
Yes.
You must have also heard that Cbap is not a simple exam to crack.
Yes, definitely.
What kind
and
of an approach?
of course there are, yes, because choosing Cbap itself was a task because IIBA also offers ECBA and CCBA, which is something at the lower level and you can attempt it. But I had a big background behind me. Of course, it was technical, but I was into business aspects as well. So I chose Cbap. So the next thing I had to do is my preparation, but I was not sure how to prepare it. So of course, I went to IIBA websites and there were prerequisites. And the first prerequisite which I was not satisfying was there were some 35 hours of learning, something like professional development hours, which should be there within you since in your career in last 4-5 years. So that was missing. I had an experience and learning, but there was nothing like an official professional development course. So first thing I had to find out IIBA endorsed education provider, and I want to inform all of you guys that Tech Canvas is the group from where I started my journey for Cbap. So I enrolled Cbap course from Tech Canvas. Then the preparation started. The first 2 months was completely to understand the concepts of Babok, because Cbap is to clear the Cbap certification. Babok is the Bible. You have to be thorough with it. Of course, you have to understand the concept first and relate it with your real world work. So Babok is the one which you have to be very thorough with. So first 2 months was with the help of Tech Canvas. On every weekend, I used to spend on the course learning to understand Babok and all the knowledge areas. After 2 months, then I have to prepare it completely by myself. So I used to, the first steps I started was to read Babok thoroughly from at least 2 to 3 times and try to find out something which I was not able to understand and see what are my gaps. Apart from that, during the reading process, I created my own notes which could help me throughout my preparation. And of course, during my last days of my certification as well. Like if I don't have much time, then I can just read some of the notes and I can just recall some of the concepts. So those things started in the next 1 or 2 months, like reading the Babok, understanding the concepts. Tech Canvas trainers and mentors used to help me in between, and of course by preparation of notes also it helped me out. Then after that, of course, is the real test, something like where do I stand? I have to figure out where do I stand now. Is my preparation enough or not? So I had this question like, how should I validate myself, whether how deep I am into water? So I started solving practice questions, each chapter wise. So at that time there was not a question bank within Tech Canvas. So I had subscribed to one third party who used to and enroll participants with the question bank, each chapter wise, and then a mock test. So I started doing the questions for each chapter, and then see how which are my correct ones and which are my wrong ones, and then see where my concept was wrong, and then read the chapter again and again to see that I am at the par level again. So all those chapter wise questions, and again going back to Babok itself, took some time, at least 2 to 3 times. And then of course doing the entire mock test of 3.5 hours of 120 questions, because at the end of the exam you have to be patient enough to sit for 3.5 hours and concentrate and focus, so that you don't lose your patience in between if you have any incorrect answers. So that practice also, it has to be made during your preparation itself. So all those steps, one by one, from learning, understanding concepts of Babok, reading Babok, making my question bank, solving the question bank, and going to Babok once again to identify my gaps and fill those gaps. So all these were part of my preparation. Of course, there were several challenges, but yeah, because I was working as well, and then parallelly I have to dedicate some time on studying as well. So yeah, this was my preparation, overall preparation.
So obviously, apart from the having the balance between the work life and the preparation time, what was the other thing which was most challenging in terms of when you're going through Babok, taking tests, the most challenging, top couple of challenges?
Yeah, I think the first challenging was the work study balance, because of course you have to, if you are working in the corporate world, at least 8 to 10 hours you have to dedicate in your work, and if you are staying away from your office location, then some time, of course, you will have, your time would be wasted in traveling as well. So overall, half of the day is already gone in your work. The remaining probably 2 to 3 hours would be remaining in your day, that you can think of something. Either you can relax a bit after your work, or either you can dedicate some time in your study. So that was probably the most challenging one, which I thought. Of course, because of that, I had to dedicate more time on my weekends, because the weekends are probably the most productive ones, because then you can completely focus throughout the entire 2 days, that is Saturdays and Sundays, and dedicate my time accordingly, so that I don't have to dedicate much time during the weekdays. So that is probably the first and the most important challenge. Second challenge, which is more interesting, because I was working as a business analyst, not an official one, but I knew the concept. So what are the efficient ways to handle business analysis tasks? So if you guys have read Babok, the first impression, or if you have gone through videos of various knowledge areas, the first impression comes that it's very easy. The Babok seems, the way Babok has written, it seems very easy to understand, very easy to relate as well. So that probably makes up into your mindset that yeah, you are already prepared. Probably you might be confident, or maybe you can go overconfident as well. That yeah, I know the concept of Babok. Probably that can be probably that was the one which I feel I had the challenge, because after I felt that yes, I'm completely confident, there was a time that I came down back to earth on the ground, that yes, I am not the one which is at the moment completely capable to clear the exam. So that was my second challenge. And the third challenge is we don't know the passing marks. Cbap has some own criteria. We don't know out of 120 questions how much is sufficient to pass the exam. So we normally in each of the exam you tend to plan something that yeah, if I score these many questions correctly, I'm confident that yes, I can pass this exam. But there is nothing as such in Cbap. You are completely blind into that. And I came to know what are the criteria after of passing after I passed my exam. Once I cleared my exam, I got a mail that you are passed with Cbap certification, and there were some criteria written over there. So maybe I can share something. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just explain each knowledge area. You will be given up your expertise level. Either you are really good in that or you are comparable. Okay.
Now you can share.
Okay. So hope this is visible.
Yes.
Okay. So this was my
Result.
this was my mail which I got from IIBA after I cleared my exam. So I was a little bit surprised that yes, they have criteria for each and every knowledge area. If you see the first knowledge area, my knowledge was, or my solving of the questions of first knowledge area was comparable, second was lower, third was comparable, fourth was higher, fifth was comparable, and sixth was higher. So after all these criteria, I came to know that yes, after these, some criteria are there on each knowledge area level, that yes, this is one of the biggest challenges as well, that you can't plan the passing level of Cbap. You have to be prepared for entire 120 questions.
Yeah, the only thing I think now which has changed is that you have to be comparable or higher in all the 6 knowledge areas. So earlier they had us like, if you are not comparable or higher in all the knowledge areas, you will not clear Cbap.
Okay. That's
this keeps on changing. Even IIBA changes patterns and everything. They keep on doing it, which is good. It keeps everybody on toes. But one of the questions related to preparation is, do you need to memorize things? So there are inputs, outputs, there is guidelines, tools, techniques. Do you need to memorize? Or if yes, what?
I don't think you need to memorize it, because if you see the real exam questions, it's completely scenario based. There is nothing that you can memorize and go there and clear the exam. Because if you understand the concept, then obviously you will have those inputs and outputs and techniques already into your mind, that yes, if I have this scenario, I have to use this input, I will get this output, I have to use these techniques or these tools. So it's completely not correct itself that you have to mug up or you have to remember that yes, these are the inputs, these are the outputs. Of course, you can try to relate because from one input there should be one output, and that output goes somewhere as an input. That you can prepare a chart for yourself, but there is no need to memorize it, because at the end in the exam it's completely scenario based. It will test your concept, it will test your background experience, because Cbap exam only allows candidates which has some good amount of background, like 5 years of extensive working in those 6 knowledge areas. So obviously Cbap or IIBA expects that a person who is attempting an exam already have worked some significantly into the business analysis task, or not officially or directly, but somewhere or the other. So obviously the exam will touch those understanding and concepts, and that will only help, instead of completely reading the Babok and memorizing it.
So considering that you were working, how much time did it take for you to prepare before you appeared for the exam? So you can give months, and if you can also kind of give an idea about the number of hours you might have spent on learning.
Oh, okay. It took around 6 months for the entire preparation, from the start till the completion of my exam. Because the first 2 months obviously goes into your endorsed education provider training to understand the concepts of Babok. And the rest 2 months probably you have to read and understand it again and fill your gaps accordingly. Then the rest, probably next 1 or 2 months, could be that you solve your question banks and mock tests, and gain confidence on top of that. But yeah, there is nothing. It completely depends on person to person. I took 6 months, but I have seen various brilliant colleagues as well who are really good in cracking exams. They probably can do it in 4 or 5 months. Some are really late because their background is not that strong enough that they take that much speed into their preparation. So probably could take more than 6 months. Probably 6 months is an average time. Maybe number of hours, I can say maybe around 250 to 300 hours.
Yeah. So weekly, how many hours you were spending on an average?
Weekly, probably on an average, at least 20 hours, 20 to 25. Keeping into mind that weekends, 6 hours on both the days, so 12 hours, and try to find a balance during your working days. At least find a time of at least an hour in between, maybe in your morning. If you are going to office a little bit late, then try to spend some time in the morning, or during traveling. If you can utilize during traveling, you can just use your mobile and listen to some videos of the knowledge areas. So that could help as well. So probably overall 20 to 25 hours per week, maybe.
And at which point in time, or was there any point in time where you felt, yes, now I'm ready, let me schedule the exam?
Okay. Maybe I just mentioned one point that I came down to earth after something. Maybe I will first talk about that. Since I had a background with the business analysis, and I read Babok, and it looked very simple to me. That yes, I can understand the concept and link it to real life world as well. But then I was not able to validate that. I was confident, but I was not able to validate that yes, I'm confident enough to clear my exam. So I bought the question banks of each chapters, and of course the complete mock test of 3.5 hours. And then I tried to solve the question bank of each chapter, and unfortunately, I could clear half of, maybe I used to get 50 to 60% correct only. So at that point of time, I realized that there are several gaps in finding out the detail. I used to be very casual in reading the question, and I thought that yes, this is the correct answer, but probably not. There are some hidden words in between the question itself that will give you a hint that yes, this probably there is a chance, a 50-50 between two options, and you have to be clear in concept that yes, this is the correct answer. So that's why after that solving of the question bank, I came to realize that no, my preparation is not complete enough to crack the exam. So I had to take again several efforts. I had to solve question bank, come back to Babok again, read the entire chapter again in more detail, again solve the question bank, again Babok. I used to do this probably multiple times, and I suggest all the participants to do this practice. Of course, even if you feel confident, do this multiple times until you feel that yes, I am clearing all the questions. Maybe I'm getting success rate of 95% or more than that. So it took some time to get back into track and see if I am getting confidence back. And then after several attempts and after solving several mock tests, I realized that yes, I am confident enough to crack the exam.
And what happened on the exam day? Because most of us nowadays, we are living in a world where level of concentration is going down. Sitting for 3.5 hours is a massive task. So tell us about yourself so that you can condition themselves.
Yes, it's a really massive task because it asks for a lot of patience and focus and concentration. In this world, of course, even if you are working on a critical project, you hardly sit for 2 hours, and then at least you go for a walk for 5-10 minutes and have a coffee and come back again. But the exam pattern is such that there is 3.5 hours and there are 120 questions. It might look that it's manageable, but at the end, mostly it's you might finish at the very dot end, like hardly a few minutes left, and then at the end you are able to complete the exam. So it has to be during your preparation itself that you practice several tests, that you are having that patience to sit for 3.5 hours without losing your focus and concentration. And even if you feel that yes, I felt that my 2-3 questions are on a stretch, I'm getting 2-3 questions wrong, I feel that yes, I'm not confident enough, then probably you might lose your focus and concentration and might lose the track for rest of the questions. So that also has to be taken care within your preparation, that don't lose focus even if you have a small glitch in between. So that's why I suggest all the participants try solving mock test as many as you can, and see that your focus and concentration is from first minute till the 3.5 hours.
Absolutely critical, because many a times, even if you know everything, if you're not focused enough for 3.5 hours, the performance may not be optimal. So it's important,
Yes.
I guess, to sit for those simulations in a formal way for 3.5 hours, so that you are conditioned for the exam day. Very important points. And apart from, you have already shared multiple things about challenges and how did you overcome. Anything else? Any other tips or tricks you would like to share?
Maybe I one tip: be honest with your preparation. As I said, understand the concept clear. No need to memorize and fall into that trap that yes, after memorizing I can clear that exam. Just honest with your preparation, that yes, I don't have, even if you start a question bank of one topic, go back to Babok again, and again you come back to the same question bank. Of course, you might know all the correct answers that you have done in the first place, but have a time gap between first attempt and the second attempt, so that probably you don't recall all the questions which you had attempted in the first attempt, which went correct as well or which went wrong as well. So that's why your preparation will pick up speed and you will be feeling more confident with your preparation.
Right. Okay, before I go to Cbap Afterlife, one last question on this Cbap preparation. Many people find Babok very difficult to comprehend, especially when they start. Okay, because a lot of people, even though they are practicing business analysis, they're not familiar with many terms used by Babok. Babok kind of has formalized the business analyst practice. So the moment they start reading, a lot of new things come up. It's like a bombardment of information. So in the initial period, what can they do? Kind of simplify or ease the pressure of learning something completely different. Any?
Yes, of course. It's Babok is demanding. If you feel easy, then probably it will be easy throughout. But if you are not familiar with the terms and concepts, then probably it will be the biggest challenge in the first step itself, in the first knowledge area itself. So what we used to do during our course with Tech Canvas is that we used to get what will be taught in the coming weekend, so that at least we used to have a read throughout of the entire topic and just mark what we don't understand. Even if it's completely okay that you don't understand anything, just at least have a read once and see if you can relate with your experience or real world scenarios or real world examples, and see that if you can little bit prepare yourself before the actual course starts. Normally the courses of Cbap are mostly on weekends because of the working professionals. So try to have a read of Babok of the chapters which are going to be taught during the weekends, so that when they start making you understanding the concept, you know that you are familiar with something. It's not that completely black box. You are familiar with that. Yes, I have read this some days before. And if you have some understanding gaps, then you can ask on that day itself. And of course, this can be done throughout the 2 months period. And even after that also, once you start understanding the concepts of Babok, start reading the entire Babok chapters, and again come back with your queries or gaps to your mentors, whoever it is, and see that you clear the concept before moving further. Because if you have seen the Babok, that from the first chapter itself, it sometimes it makes a chain, that input of first, then it creates an output, then this output goes somewhere as an input. So you don't understand how this input is getting converted to an output. You don't understand why it is used there in the next chapters. So until you don't clear your concept at initial stage or initial knowledge areas, don't go further. Take some time. It's okay that you take more time than a normal business analyst or business or any participant can take. Just it's okay to take little bit of more time to understand, because that will create your base. And believe me, at the end in the exam, it completely challenges your concepts only. It completely challenges your experience and background.
Okay. Yeah, that's an important point. So it is not important how many months or how many days you took to prepare for the exam. The real point is, did you clear it out? That is more important. Okay, so
Yes.
This was about the Cbap certification and preparation. Many people connect and say that certification is only for getting a promotion or getting a job. Now the question is, have you been able to use any of the Babok concepts in your real life? And if you can give an example, that would be fantastic.
Yes, of course. If we have read the Babok has 50 concepts or 50 techniques which you can use as a business analyst in your day-to-day activities. And it could be that for a particular work, you can use 10 techniques, or one is also suitable for your work to get completed. So it is very important that you understand all the techniques, and which is very easy and very suitable for your scenario in your real world. So understanding, I had an experience, but I didn't know all these techniques. The basic techniques like document analysis, estimation, all those were there, but not in much detail that I can do my work very efficiently. Maybe I used to do a research a bit, or I used to ask my mentors or my colleagues for help to complete my task. But then after I went through the preparation and completed my certification, I knew that yes, there are these many techniques. These are the tools. How should I approach them? Which is more suitable for me in this situation? How I have to manage my stakeholders, because there are several efficient ways that a business analyst can complete their task very nicely. Then there are separate knowledge areas for each separate actions that a business analyst can take. So obviously it makes your mind most structured, that yes, I have to follow. If I can follow this path, probably I may get a better success rate than looking for options here and there. So of course that really helped me after I cleared my concept, and of course that helped me in my day-to-day activities.
Okay, so the last question, what's next? So from your perspective, what are you planning next? Not necessarily certification, but
Okay.
in terms of what you're planning to learn, because I believe keeping yourself upskilled, keep learning new things is very important in today's world. Things are changing so fast.
Yes, in today's world.
So what would you think you are planning to do?
Yes. So if I look back, I gradually moved from my technical background into completely business background first. So that first aspiration has been fulfilled. And recently, six months back, I joined a company which offered me a complete business analyst role, based on my Cbap certificate itself. It actually speaking, my Cbap certificate really helped me to convince them that yes, I am suitable for that job, and they were satisfied after several rounds of interviews. So that, of course, also gained me with my confidence that yes, Cbap is something which definitely helps you as an individual in your career. So now I am completely into business aspects of my projects. Of course, my entire experience is banking, so obviously I will move ahead with my career in banking industry itself, because that will obviously help. Now my aim is to start grooming myself into a product owner's role, because a product owner is one who understands the business and the product, and probably the best suited person to become a product owner is a business analyst, because he understands the business aspects as well. So gladly do you ask this question. Today itself I had I'm from starting today and tomorrow I have started my course of certified Scrum product owners training. So today I have spent some 7 hours in the morning, from morning till evening 6 o'clock IST, with my product owner certification, and tomorrow also it's scheduled. So once I gain my expertise with respect to product owner and their activities and my certification, then probably I will look for how to, probably I will shadow work with some of the product owners. Of course, I was working with product owners in my previous companies, but now with a business aspect and my certification as a product owner, I can probably demand a work that yes, I can also handle product owners work. Probably shadow working with the actual product owners who are really experienced and good at it. Probably work for some months or a year or maybe more than that, depending on how confident I become. And then probably see where it goes if I get some opportunity, of course, because once if you have a skill or certification, then it could be that there would be an opportunity and you probably will be the suitable person to just fill that role. So that definitely helps. Even if you don't get an opportunity right now, probably it might come some point later on during your career. So yes,
but you have
probably my next step is we have to be ready.
Yeah. Good. I think product ownership role is going to be pretty much in demand, because all of us know that there is a survey called State of Agile, which is conducted every year,
Yes.
which has been surveying and publishing reports saying 90% plus new projects are using agile approaches. As more and more projects are getting into agile mode, a lot more demand will come for professionals working in agile projects. So that's a good move. I think
that's right, because more of the companies are moving to agile. The management role has become very thin now. Either probably it will diminish probably later point of time. Probably that would be a time that only a team would be there with a development team who has technical knowledge and a business aspect. No need of a management role, which used to be very hot role 10 years or 12 years back. So gradually the companies are moving to an efficient methodology, and agile or Scrum is one of them. So yes, a product owner would be a very demanding and an important role as well for the organization.
So this was nice talking to you, Jatin. I am going to now open it for question and answers. If anyone has any questions,
definitely,
please go ahead and ask. Or you can also type in the chat window.
Do you have any resources links, or can you provide them after the meeting?
Resources as in with respect to Babok and other study materials which I had used.
Yeah, for the Cbap exam, what would be the like websites, or what would be the videos or anything, like, say for example, where can we get the mock-up exams or that type of things.
So
Yes,
there are a lot of
yes,
videos
definitely.
which we keep on publishing, like today's interview. Okay, after it is getting recorded and it is going to be uploaded on our YouTube channel. Okay, so all our collaterals in terms of different knowledge area videos are available on YouTube. So that is one resource which you can access. There are some free tests available on Cbap, which you can also access and see what is the kind of questions you get. So that you can practice. Those are free resources.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Aarti, and I have a question for Abhishek and Jatin.
Yes, Aarti.
So I basically wanted to know, Jatin, is there a evaluation criteria for doing the Cbap certification, and does Tech Canvas did they help you do the evaluation before registering for the exam or enrolling for the course?
Evaluation in terms of eligibility criteria.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what. Yes, there are, if you visit iiba.org website, for each certification, there are prerequisites that you have to need some amount of experience in these knowledge areas. These amount of professional development hours should be logged. There are several other criteria as well. Mostly it's if you have worked for 5 to 7 years, more than 5 to 7 years, most of your criteria would be fulfilled, depending on your type of loan. So there are some criteria. Of course, you just visit there and see if you are eligible for Cbap, or if you are not eligible for Cbap, then either you are eligible for CCBA or ECBA. Just see where you fit, and accordingly, of course, the enrollment process is also a simple one. It's not that complex on IIBA website. But if you definitely need a help, Tech Canvas and the mentors will definitely help you out.
Yeah, just to add that, we have an eligibility mapping sheet developed in Excel, where what you can do is, in different projects, whatever you have worked on, put it against the different areas of BABA in terms of hours, and it will calculate and show you whether you are eligible for Cbap or CCBA or not. Okay, so the only thing when you are calculating hours is to kind of have a lower calculation of hours, just to be safe. So for example, working day, every working day should be counted as 7 hours, just to be on safer side.
Yes.
20 days or 21 days as working days in the month. Okay, so you fill that sheet. You can get it from, just write an email to info@techcanvas.com. You'll get that sheet, and then fill that up, and then you can check with us whether you qualify for CCB or Cbap exams.
Okay. One more thing I basically wanted to know is that I have gone through the iiba.org site, and it states that you need to have like 7,500 hours of work experience. But I wanted to know in particular, which I have. I have got like good 10 years experience in the IT industry in various roles, from a developer to a business analyst. But there is a working gap. I have been on a sabbatical in between. Does Cbap need a continuous work experience, or is there some criteria like that?
No, I don't think so. If you have a break in between.
Yeah,
Abhishek.
As long as your 7,500 hours of experience is within the last 10 years, you're fine.
Yeah, if you can justify your experience and satisfy, that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, this isn't particularly I wanted to know, because my sabbatical started from 2011. and that's the reason I wanted to actually understand.
So you have not
Because
worked since 2011?
So 2011 till 18 was my sabbatical. So I have then from 2018 I worked as a business analyst. So I didn't know if I have to go up. So Cbap would be better, or maybe ECBA. I was a little confused. So that's what I wanted to know, if the education provider would help me doing the decision for me.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Just drop an
Okay.
email on info@techcanvas.com. We'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
So there is another question from Ritu Duggal. I think there are study guides available from IABA's registered vendors, the EPs. Does reading those study guides and practicing mock tests would suffice the need, or reading Babok is must?
Probably reading Babok would be enough, unless you want to understand some of the concept in more detail, because there are some books, there are some ebooks available which has extensive detailed understanding of Babok and the related chapters. So, but I don't think so you should go on to that path. Understanding the concepts of Babok in itself is huge task in itself. Understanding the 6 complex knowledge areas, then 50 techniques, and the underlying competencies as well. So probably understanding Babok and then solving question bank and mock test probably would be enough.
Right. Okay. Any other questions? You can unmute yourself and ask.
Maybe one more suggestion: during a preparation or mock test, try to solve questions which are lengthy as well, because during the questions it can test your patience on an extreme level. But some of the questions would be such lengthy that it will take 5 or more than 5 minutes to just read the question, and probably there would be some questions based on that entire big paragraph. So try to involve some of those type of questions as well.
So just because you have mentioned this point, I mean, is it a worthwhile strategy to skip those long questions for the end, or is the better practice to do it in the beginning?
It depends on, if you are running out of time, then probably do it at the end. But if you are on time or before time, I would suggest, and my colleagues or the mentors who also cleared IIBA exams, they also told me the same thing. The longer the questions, the easier to answer. Probably it is just to scare you that it is such a huge that probably a participant would say that let's skip it at the end, or just mark it at the moment and see it later on. But probably if you attempt those questions, the chances of getting a correct answer are really high, because at the end IIBM makes you read the entire paragraph, and at the end it asks a very simple question which you just have to find out in between the words and mark your correct answer. But it's time consuming, and it takes your time and focus, and it tests your patience as well.
Yeah, good point, important point. All right, any other question? It seems we have answered all the questions.
Yeah, hi, this is Ritu. Just last question, basically. First of all, thank you for answering my previous question. In case, if we do like sort of the day we register for the exam and we sit for the exam, in the beginning 15-20 minutes, we get to cold feet or start getting nervous. Is there a possibility of dropping that exam for time being and maybe rescheduling it, or no, it's still counted?
No, I think IIBA does not give any refund back. I think you have to schedule it once again by registering an exam and paying the exam fee as well. So either you attempt it completely, it's just one attempt, and it's completely up to you to select a particular day and a particular time as well. There are, on a particular day, there is a morning exam shift as well and evening as well. So it gives you that flexibility that you choose on your own convenient day and time. But make sure if you have chosen and registered or selected a date, just go and complete the exam, because IIBA does not allows you to reschedule the already scheduled exam. It's just a waste of money at that time.
Thank you.
So maybe to add on your issue or concern, better to remain relaxed and calm before your exam day. Don't try to hurry up and see what you can read and study during the last hours. It's better not to do anything and relax whatever way you can, either music or sleep or any stuff, and stay healthy, because that will help you to sit for 3.5 hours at the end. Because otherwise, there was a time in between I was in during the exam, in the entire AC room I was sweating, because one or two questions can easily lose your focus, and it will of course have a huge impact on the rest of the questions. It definitely plays with your mindset more than your preparation during the exam day.
Correct. Conditioning is very, very important. Good point. All right. So it seems we have answered all the questions. Thank you so much, Jatin. And thank you everyone for participating today. We'll see you next week with the next webinar. Yeah, you have made some really good points. I think it will be useful for everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good luck, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.